Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ksenjia and I'm a CEO and co-founder of Inselli, a marketplace for Instagram. According to statistics for 2013, Instagram is the fastest growing social network in the world. And you all probably know that it is a platform for sharing photos, right? But would you believe that people actually use it to sell their personal belongings and handmade items? I personally wouldn't, but 300,000 people all over the world do. And at the moment, there are over 3 million of items for sale on Instagram. Amazing. But this social network wasn't targeted for selling. So there are no specialized e-commerce tools, and the sales process basically goes through the personal contact, which results in tons of emails and hours of phone calls for sellers. And this is a drastic waste of time. There is also no proper search or sorting, so buyers have to go through hundreds of images to find the right sales offer. And this is again time and frustration. And that's exactly where Inselli comes in, solving all of those problems. First of all, Inselli is an e-commerce facilitator for sellers. Our system picks Instagram pictures with tags like for sale, on sale, etc., and brings them to Inselli, thus creating your own personal online shop. All is left to do is to sign in using Instagram login and spend basically a few minutes to add contact information, prices, and PayPal. That's it. You can start to receive direct payments from buyers. On the other hand, Inselli is a discovery engine for buyers. One place where they can find all the sales offers from Instagram, easily searchable, sortable, and shoppable. The two main markets that we target right now are US and Russia, mainly because these are the two countries with the biggest number of Instagram users. The team behind the project consists of me, Ksenjia. I have business background and experience in team leading. My colleague Alex, whose expertise lies in marketing and new media. Our tech guy Dmitry. And we also have Evgeny and Alexei, two people who help us to deal with sellers and to keep Inselli nice and clean. So to sum up, I would like to mention once again that there's an emerging trend of selling stuff in Instagram. A social network with over 150 million of users and a great potential. A market that has not yet opened its doors to e-commerce, and that's exactly what we are about to do. Thank you for your attention. And I'll be happy to meet you after the pitching session to discuss a little bit more about what we do and how you can help us to grow huge. Thanks again.
So presentation's pretty clear, but I have one big problem with a big premise that you're basing everything on, which is that people are actively looking for things to buy on Instagram versus passively buying things that they notice.
Yes, but this question, I have an answer to this question because we already have an open beta and we already have sellers in and we tested the service. We asked them how they get their buyers and how it all happens. And basically they get the majority of their buyers through the hashtag search on Instagram. So it means that people are actually searching for stuff to buy.
Okay, so it would be very helpful if you have statistics because you kind of challenged yourself when you opened. Mm-hmm. Your opening volley was, would you believe it? I don't believe it, but here's my presentation.
Yeah, but actually that's what we discovered when we started to dig deeper in Instagram. I didn't know that this is so huge.
So you want to support that with some really strong evidence, showing that that's a growing trend. The other thing too is dangerous is that somebody says, okay, well, if it is really a trend, how come Instagram, Facebook, can't just add this feature themselves over the weekend? So you have to talk about some advantage that you have that's defensible, that will allow you to not be 100% reliant on Instagram, maybe do this for other social networks later as well.
That's actually what we have in mind, but the thing is that I can't squeeze everything in 2.5 minutes.
You can mention
maybe I can discuss it later on with people who will hopefully come to me to discuss a bit more about the project, and because I have
you want to mention it? Just mention it. It takes 3 seconds, just so people understand that you understand this, that you don't want to rely 100% on Instagram, and that you have something defensible. So that, and then your close. What do you want? What's your call to action?
That's what I told afterwards, that I want them to come and to discuss closer.
Discuss what?
Discuss what we do, how they can help us.
Well, if it's investors, are you looking to raise money?
Yes.
Or are you looking for partners?
Should I tell it like...
Yes, absolutely. Ask for the sale. Number one rule in business. Ask for the sale.
Okay. So should it be like we are now in fundraising mode and we would love
Yes.
to talk to you. Okay,
Yes,
I'll
absolutely.
change it.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't be coy about this. There has to be a call to action.
Additionally, I think you have mentioned that you are open to beta, right?
Yes.
You haven't any slide about your the first numbers.
The thing is that we only started a month ago, and we didn't spend any money on marketing, so the numbers are not that impressive to mention them in
But-
the
What's the
presentation.
number, by the way? I know we know each other from
Yeah.
before, but 11. What's the number now?
We have about 200 registered users and about 300 daily visitors. With no special marketing, just like hanging
I
around
mean,
social networks.
you can mention that you're in the beta mode because from the presentation I couldn't understand because it's the first time I see the presentation. I mean, I thought that it's a project that you are going to launch. And if you tell about that you are in a beta, there are users, it is more interactive and also impressive for me, in my point of view.
It's working, right?
Yeah, it's
Something is
working, yeah.
Indication
I
of
see,
it
yeah.
working.
It also removes execution risk. It also removes execution risk, meaning that can your team actually build this? Is this doable?
Yeah.
So when you say that we're already in beta, that checks that off the list.
Yeah. Additionally, you are in the second month now. I mean, the numbers should go up. If you are in the third month and making a presentation, you cannot hide your beta users if they are also low. So you have to work very hard to grow the numbers.
Yeah, one of the things to keep in mind, right, is that yes, it would be great if the numbers are growing all the time, but for me, because for early stage companies, you want to, for me, I also want to know if numbers are not growing, I want to know what you've learned from it, what lessons you're going to take from either to grow in the future, or like what does that show you about the business or the potential. Does that make sense? I don't know if I explain myself. Okay.
I have a question in mind, like why Instagram instead of Pinterest?
The thing is that Pinterest actually is a better service in terms of selling than Instagram because they have a very good search. So you can search several tags at a time, for example, for sale and dress, while on Instagram it's not possible. So I'm either searching for sale and I get a bunch of irrelevant search results, or I search for dress, but it doesn't mean that the dress I see is for sale. So that's the main reason. And Pinterest is slowly taking some actions to maybe even become a selling platform, while Instagram ignores this part completely.
Uh-oh.
Yes. What?
Then why isn't tomorrow Instagram going to do this?
Maybe they are going to do this, but they already started monetizing the service, but they started with brands. So they are looking for a bigger market, I would say. They're not going to, at least I think so, they're not going to work with
So you have a very small
sellers.
market then, is what you're saying.
No, the market is okay,
Okay.
but brands pay more
So be
than
careful.
regular users.
So the proper answer should be, we're starting with Instagram, but as social networks develop, we can apply the same technology and allow people to sell on any social network.
Yes.
That should be the answer. Something like
Okay.
that.
Yes.
A random question. I know you answered this before. Is there anyone else doing this?
Yes, there are two services similar to ours, but each of them have certain serious drawbacks, and they are not doing everything that we do. So we kind of combine those two services, the features and the concept that they have.
Yeah, features are kind of a bad word. You want to have something strategic that's different and better, because features for a bigger company are a weekend project.
Or even for any company.
Okay, that's a bad word to use, but I meant that we have I would say our concept is fuller, I don't know, bigger, improved than the
Just think
concept
more
of those two
strategically.
services.
More strategically, how you're approaching it. You will never beat a big company at their own business. You have to come at it from a different angle.
Okay.
Right. You have
But
to-
these two companies are not big. They are startups, just like us.
Just in general.
And they started parallel with us, the same month, basically.
And how are they doing?
One of them is doing better than the other, but I guess that one company, the guy that made this startup, he just made it, launched it, and that's it. I don't know. I don't see if they are doing anything with
So
it.
that's also kind of a red flag. If there's nobody doing this or trying to do
yes,
this.
but probably it's just because of the person who created the
No, I mean,
project.
if-
Maybe he thought that it is going to go up and running without any major efforts from his side.
Remember what I was saying is no competitors, no market, no problem.
Yeah,
So
there are competitors.
you're kind of navigating. Yeah, just be careful when you're navigating, when you answer these questions, that you don't paint yourself into a corner.
Okay.
Like, and just number one, right? Just this is feedback that I've given before. Is that we're challenging you not because like we're trying to destroy. We just want you to think about this. Like being defensive is the worst thing you can actually be, right? Like so, just like okay, I understand what you're saying. Here's my view on this, right? Don't challenge the investor because you're going to lose.
We're here to
I
help.
understand it, yeah. I wasn't defensive actually. At least I was trying to answer.
From this side, yes, you are defending something, that's true. But as Marvin said, yes, you're right, and we will think about it. Yes, you have a right, we have to work on it.
Yes.
And you can tell inside anything, but you have to tell that investor is
You know.
always right.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.